this is another battle in the Cup of Nations with Aggony Prussian Prince commanding his Germanics of the Alanen flavor, and Lurtz commanding the Visigoths. Also a faction capable of being very Germanic. And the Prussian Prince, you know his build. I'm not going to go over it. I'm going to go over the... Well, just going to mention that the build of the army that Lurtz brought is, again, it's smartly put together, because he has the inspiring noble Germanic swords on the flanks. If they support cavalry fights with the Germanic swords, they are going to make the Germanic horse. They're going to enable them to stay in the fight for longer and tolerate negative effects of flaming arrows better. Then we have the Germanic archers of Lurtz in loose formation. He has Germanic nobles with the command general, and then he has 6 Gothic Palatina defectors. So Gothic Palatina defectors, very strong on the charge, very good offensive stats. In terms of the Summation Warband, also are very good on the charge, very good offensive stats. Both of these units very sturdy, but the Summation Warband takes it in terms of having better armor. But also better melee defense displayed by the Gothic Palatina defectors, so it's definitely a close fight between these two units in a battlefield situation, that is, when other factors come into play. And now the Prussian Prince already starting to pour the fire into Lurtz here, and Lurtz is in loose formation, which may not be entirely optimal here. Loose formation, as you can see it like visually as well. You can see that most of the arrows are hitting the actual formation here, whereas if this was a spaghetti line of men like this, then a lot of arrows would be hitting to the front and to the back. So Lurtz being somewhat aggressive here, pushing up the Prussian Prince, recognizing that he has the skirmishing advantage and that he could start skirmishing earlier than Lurtz could. He's just going to continue, keep a defensive position here, and while Lurtz is sending all of his cavalry to this flank, the Prussian Prince has done the same, and this could open up for some very nice charges, and here we have it. The Prussian Prince taking the leap and getting into the Gothic Palatina defectors. Very nice charge here, tying down a lot of the units of Lurtz. This Germanic horseman, and also Lurtz is keeping his infantry way too close, and he's losing a lot of infantry unnecessarily to the charges of the Prussian Prince here, because the Prussian Prince was smart. Lurtz wasn't able to entirely stop the charges, and that basically meant that the Prussian Prince has been able to, with 2 units here, he has been able to tie down all of these units of Lurtz. Very nicely done by the Prussian Prince.
Enemy units have rallied and returned to the battle.
And moving diagonally like that was that close to the lines of the Prussian Prince was not the smartest thing Lurtz could have done in that situation. He just moved a bit too close. Here we have a standard blob forming, and now it's just all about piling units into the blob, basically, getting the better angles, and the Prussian Prince's skirmishers chasing away the skirmishers of Lurtz. In the blob, both players are losing units, but you can see that the Prussian Prince does have some... I mean, his Germanic horsemen should not, if they were fully upgraded and had supporting units, they shouldn't be breaking at 16 men. Germanic nobles getting into the fight. I don't know if they've used Brace just yet. This would be a very good engagement to use Brace in to get a bonus against all of these cavalry units. Lurtz using his wavering archers to pour some damage in here. And here we have Noble Germanic Swords crashing into the Summation Warband, but Noble Germanic Swords, 10 charge bonus, not great. They do have a nice bit of health though. They are very sturdy units. But when I say sturdy, I don't mean against missiles. I believe their missile block chance is only 25%, so they are... Or is that... Yeah, I think it is only 25%, which is very low for infantry.
Warriors, move out! Advance at speed!
So this blob, it looks like the Prussian prince has an ever so slight advantage, but the Germanic horse here are about to die, and then the general of the Prussian prince is alone. So the Prussian prince is sending over his Germanic pikes here to support the fight, which is a very good idea. This unit was also stopped. We'll see how this develops for the Prussian prince. I think he's using his pikes smartly here, but all that needs to happen for Lurtz is for this engagement to break up, and then he can start flanking the Prussian prince massively. Unless the Prussian prince is somehow... He's not going to be able to stop it for long with this depleted Germanic horse here. But these pikes are in a very nice position. Pushing the pikes forward now, and then allowing the general to retreat behind the pikes could have been a good idea. But this is very, very close indeed. The Prussian prince has a lot more men left, but he does have slightly weaker melee units, and if Lurtz is able to flank well here, that's a game changer, because then he's going to be able to rear charge the general. But now the Prussian prince is doing well on this flank, and he's pouring so much fire into the units, the cavalry units of Lurtz. Lurtz making a mistake here, I think, charging in. He probably wants to kill the general of the Prussian prince, which is a good idea. However, he is also going to be losing a lot of Germanic horse on these pikes. The Prussian prince is finally pulling out his general, but it was a bit too late, because now there was a cavalry unit there, and he could lose his general. Now just fuck you to these Germanic horsemen. The shot to death by the Germanic archers. And yeah, the Germanic horsemen are wavering here. In the central blob, the pikes are heroically holding on and getting themselves some kills. But they are up against a significant melee force here. Another pike unit, and so much fire incoming from the Germanic archers here. It would be very interesting if they were able to kill off all of these units. The flanking move I talked about from Lurtz didn't happen. So in the grind out, the Prussian prince's units could potentially do a decent job. And now the Prussian prince's general is dead, so a lot of these units could just break straight off the field. One small charge and they die, basically. But still, the Lurtz doesn't have a whole lot left either. Lurtz's general could very well die here too. The Prussian prince is moving around with his archers, which is a very good idea, but he needs to be careful, because he might just chain rout his own men by pouring fire into them. Super close battle this. The Sarmatian warband of the Prussian prince is going to do well against Gothic Palatine defectors on the charge, but they have the problem of the general being dead and being fired upon. So the Prussian prince chain routes. Good game to Lurtz. Valiant defeat by the Prussian prince. Very close battle, but let's see here. Yeah, the Prussian prince has 7 melee infantry units, while there are 9 melee infantry units on the field for the Visigoths. So although those charges to begin with looked very good for the Prussian prince, he became overpowered in the blob. And yeah, that was basically it. He got overpowered. There were too many infantry units in the blob, even though he did a good job with his archers. These Sarmatian warband do get a lot of kills. Lurtz had and the Germanics perform very similarly, but Lurtz had a slight infantry advantage, and I think that was what tipped the balance in favor of Lurtz here, because I don't really see anything else that could have done it. Strength and honor.